We're defining whole as someone who's unbroken or in an undamaged state.
Depends on how they say it. Because if
Okay?
they say it with an attitude, well, you need to take me as I am, then it's like, eyebrows raised. Okay, who exactly am I going to take? Now, if there's take me as I am in a humility type of way of communicating that, accompanying it with, I'm still working on something.
For some people, it's they're not willing to change. They're not willing to look at self. But then I could also see it as saying that, listen, this is my past. This is what happened to me. I can't change it. I'm healed from it. So you're going to have to take me as I am. I'm a single mother, or, I'm divorced.
Yeah.
It's like, in essence, some of them are saying, accept me as I am.
If there is some sort of trauma or something that happened in your past that's affecting the way you are in terms of your behavior, and you're saying to the guy, hey, look, this is just who I am. I might be angry at you all the time. I might have an attitude because of certain things. If she says that and says, this is who I am, take me as I am, then it is the man's choice to say, you know what, can I deal with that? People have gone through hell and high water in their life. We can take that person as they used to be, but the trauma or that type of behavior can easily creep back up. If there is unforgiveness,
that's true,
in the past, they're still angry and they're still bitter, and she's saying, take me as I am. No, you need to go back and deal with those issues, because more than likely those issues are going to creep in our relationship, and then there's going to be some problems. Again, it could be a red flag if you ask the right questions, which so many people don't. We need to ask more questions when we're trying to pursue someone. We need to ask the tough questions. Now, it becomes a yellow flag when she says, I am going through counseling, I am talking to a therapist, I go to a group of women who have gone through the same thing I have gone through, and we meet twice a week, we meet once a week, you know what I'm saying? Then it becomes a yellow flag. So then it tells me, okay, well, this person, however, they haven't quite come out of that yet, they are still working on that, and that's going to take some time. I get that. That's a yellow flag. We can still talk. We can still do what we need. You know what I'm saying?
Understood. And why do you think some people don't seek out healing and wholeness in their soul? And soul, I don't know if I defined it earlier, but it's your mind, will, and emotions.
Because they're looking for the other person to fulfill that.
Yes.
Friends, it is not popular to say, you know what, I'm jacked up, I can be a real jerk, or I can be, the other word, and I really need help. Things happen in my past, in my childhood. There's things that I've done I'm ashamed of. There's all these things. We like to sweep it under the rug because we always like to portray a certain image.
Yes.
Look at Facebook. People have everything going great for themselves, but you really don't know what that person's going through. It's real easy to cover up stuff. It's harder to deal with the tough stuff.
It is. And I think it's so much easier to not deal with stuff, because I think sometimes you just continue on in life as is. So it kind of becomes a part of your life and you get comfortable. And then, it's uncomfortable dealing with your truth sometimes. They rather just continue being in that state. They rather ignore it. They rather push it aside. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want anybody to ask questions about it, because they just don't want to do the work. A lot of people are scared of becoming, who that next person is. They're just so comfortable in who they are.
Yeah, that's good.
A lot of people, too, also, they do like the woe is me. They like the attention that comes with everything. Yeah, so they rather stay in their mess, stay in the woe is me, because they're getting all this attention.
Another thing that I think you also need to mention on top of everything that you just said is the fact that it's painful. It's traumatizing.
It is, because you're reliving. In essence, you're reliving. And some people have tried to dig a hole and bury that thing, and it's so far down in them, but it's still there. And then for them to have to dig that stuff out, it's painful.
It's one thing having to bury something, and it's a lot of work to go and find that thing, and after all of that dirt that you covered up with it, you gotta sit there and you gotta shovel all that dirt.
Yep.
That's hard work, especially if it's cemented. Come on now,
listen,
friend. What do you do?
You gotta take one of those, what's those things called? Is that
a drill, a jack? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's important, because you have to be whole. Let me read something from an article that I found. It says that to be whole, to be complete, each aspect of a person must be well.
Mm.
And it says, when any aspect of our being is not well, the other aspects are adversely affected. Again, we don't pay attention to that. We just think that since we think we're functioning normally, but there's a lot of dysfunctional
Ooh.
Christians out there. At one point, to be transparent, I thought, a man was the solution to all things.
Mm.
So it was like, okay, well, as soon as I get, mind you, this was several years ago, but it was like, as soon as I get into a relationship, it'll make all this stuff go away. I want to read something else from my article. It says, it's also important to care for our soul, to manage our emotions the best way we can, to monitor our thinking patterns, and to make healthy choices. Our soul life is impacted by our spirit, and the gateway through which this primarily happens is in our mind.
We need to get through that stuff so that way God can use us. We'll put the band-aid of church work and just being busy versus really dealing with these issues. And the Lord, he wants us to be free from all of that.
Amen.
I mean, how disrespectful is it to not give it over to him? He says, cast your cares. He cares for you.
That was good. I like this too. It says the only way we can understand the key truths of life is to be exposed to what God's guidelines for living are as found in the Bible. The Bible holds the keys to being whole and living well. We must not only understand God's principles, but we must live them and apply them to be whole. And it is deep in our soul that our emotions and our minds impact our choices and subsequently physical behavior.
It's a tough spot. I mean, some people are not sure exactly what's going on. They are very frustrated. They're very confused. The Lord wants us to make sure that we have our fullest potential. If we have any touchstones, we got to learn from them touchstones and give it all to him. If it pops back up, give it back to him. Hey.
Absolutely. And this is something that you cannot do in your own strength, guys, because if you were able to, you would have already done it.
And the only way you can tell if someone's whole is if you ask the right questions.
Mm-hmm.
You ask the right questions.
You have to listen.
You got to listen to the person, and also taking consideration where they came from, taking consideration their past and their upbringing. You got to take all of that in consideration, and then at the same time ask the right questions. And how they answer those questions and how you see their behavior can really tell you a lot about how that person is whole.
I challenge you guys to truly examine yourself and ask God to show you the areas of your life where you are not whole. Scripture of the week is 3rd book of John, chapter 1, verse 2. Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul.